Alright, so you've probably heard the buzz. There's a massive new bill in the Senate right now, and it could shake up everything from your taxes to border security. Let's break down what's actually inside the GOP's so-called Megabill that's heading for a vote before July 4, 2025. At its core, this bill is the Republican answer to a lot of President Trump's top domestic priorities. It's huge, hundreds of pages, and it's packed with changes that touch nearly every corner of the economy. First, let's talk about your wallet. The bill extends the Trump tax cuts from 2017, which means most households won't see their taxes go up anytime soon. There are also new, temporary deductions like up to $25,000 for tip wages and $12,500 for overtime pay, but only through 2028. And they phase out if you're making above $150,000. The child tax credit gets a bump, too, up to $2,200 per kid, and it'll adjust for inflation after next year. Plus, folks over 65 get a bigger deduction, but again, only if their income isn't too high. Now, on the big picture money front, the bill raises the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. That's a massive number, and it's there to keep the government from defaulting and to pay for all these new policies. Next up, food assistance. The bill makes it tougher for adults without disabilities or young kids to qualify for SNAP, also known as food stamps. If you're able-bodied and under 65, you'll need to work more hours to keep your benefits. And if states have too many payment mistakes, they'll have to chip in more themselves. For anyone living in high-tax states, there's a temporary boost to the so-called SALT deduction, up to $40,000 for married couples earning less than $500,000. But heads up, this perk expires after 2028. Medicaid also gets an overhaul. The bill adds new work requirements for most able-bodied adults, and it caps a tax that states can charge Medicaid providers. Some rural hospitals might take a hit, so there's $25 billion set aside over 5 years to try to soften that blow. On the border, this bill is big, $46.5 billion for finishing the border wall, plus billions more for border security and hiring more agents, though not as much as the House wanted. There's also new tech for screening and surveillance. Immigration fees are going up too. If you want a work permit, it'll cost you $550 every 6 months. A proposed fee for asylum applications got scrapped though, after a Senate rules check. For students and graduates, the student loan system is about to get reworked. Outgo. Biden's repayment plans in comes a new standard option and a GOP-backed repayment assistance plan. Federal loans for parents and grad students get capped, but Pell Grants stay the same unless you've got a full scholarship already, in which case you're out. And here's something for the tech crowd, $500 million is set aside for AI development, but here's the catch: states can't pass their own AI regulations for a decade if they want the money. So what happens next? The bill's still being tweaked, and it's dividing Republicans. Some worry about the national debt, others about social safety nets, and with the House and Senate not totally agreeing, this thing's far from a done deal. But if it passes, President Trump's expected to sign it. That's what's in the GOP's Megabill. Now you're in the loop.